Meanwhile, Berchtesgaden was extensively occupied by the American Army. The surrounding hotels were used to house hundreds of soldiers. In this region, the Allied coalition had discovered that the scenic mountains provided an ideal R&R area following the grueling frontline effort. The Allied military administration was housed in the Berchtesgaden Castle. The premises were used up to this time by the defense forces. On the Obersalzberg, an emergency mayor was appointed to determine the condition of the work camps. In spite of everything, there were still hundreds of civilians present that had been employed by the various construction companies. Besides the 101st Airborne Division, the 327th Glider Battalion had also been positioned in Berchtesgaden. On May 15, 1945, a U.S. military aircraft landed at Einring, the airfield near Berchtesgaden. On board were General Omar Bradley and Major General Heislin. General Taylor greets the group in Hitler's Mercedes and continues the drive to Stangast near Berchtesgaden, where in 1936 a second Reich Chancellery had been built. There, the deserving soldiers of the 101st Airborne Division had the distinction of participating in an honor parade, followed by the awarding of medals. In front of the residence of General Keitel, Bradley greets the unit. Then the medal ceremony begins. Besides the Silver Star, higher honors like the Legion of Merit were also awarded. Next, there was an inspection of the unit by General Bradley. After the medal ceremony, the drive to Obersalzberg continued. The first stop on the journey is the Platterhof. The former hotel served as an R&R military hospital in the last years of the war and remained relatively protected from the bombings in comparison to other buildings. An honor procession of the division had formed and greeted the generals with a parade of arms. Subsequently, the group proceeded to an extensive parade. On the way, they went by the ruins of the official motor pool. Here it becomes clear that the bombing attack had not missed its target. Even isolated clouds of smoke can still be seen in the background. The actual main attraction was unquestionably Adolf Hitler's Berghof. Here, the American soldiers had already previously discovered items that remained spared from the bombing and the subsequent fire. By the order of General Taylor, a reconnaissance group equipped with movie cameras is sent into the main bunker of the Berghof. Even then, the following pictures were compiled with the intention to provide a historical record. At the end of the long entrance tunnel is the main corridor, in which Adolf Hitler's private library is stored. From there, another tunnel connects to the private areas of Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun. Four machine gun nests that were formerly occupied by SS troops were intended to protect the bunker against foreign intruders. The air ventilation shafts for the rooms of the bunker were protected against gas attacks through an airlock system. In a side room, numerous documents and Hitler's extensive music record collection is discovered. Next to this area is located the private room of Eva Braun that was obviously abandoned in a hurry or had already been invaded by looters. Surprisingly, even Adolf Hitler's well-known private collection of valuable art was stored here. Apart from looters, the bunker system had also withstood damage from the air raids. The Berchtesgadener Hof was opened in 1941 as a luxury hotel owned by the Nazi Party. Throughout the last years of the war, numerous high-ranking political and military figures stayed there for the purpose of being readily available to attend important meetings on the Obersalzberg. Shortly after the invasion, the U.S. directed troops to be headquartered there. On May 10, 1945, the preparations for a historical meeting were taking place. The arrival of the commander of the German troops in Italy, General Field Marshal Albert Kesselring, is anticipated for a conference with General Taylor and General Higgins. After a delay, General Kesselring's car arrives. The general was at this time an American prisoner of war and was constantly guarded by U.S. soldiers. After talks in the Crystal Hall of the hotel, the conversation, the content of which are no longer precisely confirmable today, moves onto the large terrace. As can be seen here in the pictures, General Kesselring is still wearing his complete uniform, including honor medals and his Field Marshal baton. In the following weeks and months, the Obersalzberg became more and more of a sightseeing attraction for many Allied politicians. Hitler's Berghof was always the main attraction. These pictures document the visit by a delegation of American senators. Among the guests are Senator Burton Wheeler, Senator Albert Hawks, Senator Homer Capehart, and Senator Ernest McFarland. With these pictures, it becomes clear how many objects of Hitler's private property, which were still stored in the bunkers, fell into the hands of new owners. Up until 1948, the Obersalzberg remained in the hands of the occupational forces. On April 13, 1952, the Bavarian government blew up the ruins of the Berghof, as well as the houses of Bormann and Gehring.